don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Hello there, welcome to Good Morning Uganda Extra. This morning I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono, and with me I'm going to be discussing something very, very important. And what is this? We are going to be focusing on the progress in Uganda's oil and gas sector. Now, when we talk about the oil and gas sector, we remember in 2006, we discovered that Uganda was able to carry on commercial oil exploration. Now, so much has been happening till today in the oil sector. We have the Kingfisher, we have the Telenga sites, one managed by Sinok and the other managed by Total. Now, we want to know, where are we now in the oil journey? Because we've also had the East African crude oil pipeline, so much in that sector. Sometimes also misinformation, such as, no, already people are benefiting from the oil, you just don't have enough information. Well, this is what we are going to be discussing this morning. I and my guest in studio, who happens to be Didas Muhumuza, Senior Stakeholders Management Officer, Petroleum Authority of Uganda. Good morning, Didas.
Morning, Mr. Chirabo. Glad to be here. Like you've been advised, I'm Muhumuza Didas, a Senior Officer for Stakeholder Management at the Petroleum Authority of Uganda. I'm very glad, and I wish you a nice viewing.
Now, beginning with, when you talk about the Petroleum Authority of Uganda, for someone who is hearing of this for the first time, with a number of stakeholders in the petroleum industry, help us understand, are you a government body? Where do you drive your powers from, and what do you do?
That's a very good question. I'd start with the Petroleum Authority of Uganda is celebrating 10 years of existence, so we call it POW at 10. And this implies that the institution came into being in 2015, following the enactment of the upstream and midstream laws in 2013 that provided for the establishment of a regulatory body that takes care of upstream and midstream activities. Now, when we talk of upstream, is the area of looking for oil, developing the resources, and producing the same resources, making them available for the market, and also for refining. Then the midstream is the transportation, refining, and processing of these resources. Like the ECOP that you just talked about, it's one of the midstream projects that is supposed to add value or to create market linkages for the produced resources. So the authority, having been established in 2015, it's one of the main bodies that takes care of the oil and gas activities, the upstream and midstream, to be specific. And others in the play is the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, which is the mother institution, which takes care of policy and licensing aspects. And then the other is the Uganda National Oil Company, which takes care of the commercial interests of the state. So it's the business arm, more or less, but there are three key institutions that play the role on the side of government. And then other players, of course, are the companies. We call them the investors or operators, for that matter. That's Total Energies Uganda, and then you've got Sinok Uganda Limited. And who work also with contractors below them. So that's the other side that I just wanted to add on. But for government, there are three key institutions, and the Petroleum Authority is one of the key institutions that takes care of the upstream and the midstream, monitoring and regulating and ensuring that there is compliance to the provided rules, guidelines, laws, and regulations accordingly. Yeah.
Now, I know many Ugandans are eager to know, where are we as a country in the oil exploration journey?
You rightly mentioned, yes, Uganda discovered commercial values or resources in 2006 after having had a long journey of exploration, and that was at Imputa 1 well site in Kaisotonya. Now, from that time, a lot has happened and great milestones were achieved to date, and we've got quite a number of fields that are now up in the next stage, that's the development stage. So you've got developments happening, and I don't know whether you've had a chance to visit the areas of operation, but if you haven't, you need to. Quite of great steps have been are being undertaken right now, but even before that, great values were committed following the definition of the FID, that's the final investment decision in 2022, where this was signed at Kololo. And you realize that at that point, it was a matter of now making the real proper decisions, and now we are going into this. And to date, we've got great progress of establishing the necessary infrastructure. You've got quite a number of things that have got to happen. In the Tilenga, you've got and Kingfisher, I'll take them concurrently, take them forward, based on the discoveries that were made, which we've discussed previously. The values of 6.5 million barrels of oil equivalent, and then the 1.4 recoverable. But this is not static, because as more work is also happening, we realize UNOC was given a license to do more exploration. These values will change, because there will be all that will be added to the existing values that we've so far gained and working with. All that is being taken forward in partnership, that's between government entities and the private sector players, the investors, to have establishment of the necessary infrastructure, the central processing facilities in both areas. You've got flow lines, you've got feeder lines from both points connecting to Kavale in Hoima, where there is the crude holding hub, and all the oil will be collected there. Of course, the target is to produce about 180,000 barrels of oil per day at peak from Tilenga, it comes to Kavale, and 40,000 barrels of oil per day from Kingfisher, so you get 230. Then you've got the first call of 60,000 barrels of oil per day. So when you talk about a barrel of oil, I think now by now you know that, or maybe for the viewers, it's a barrel of oil. It's a standard measure. It's 159 liters. So we talk about 100,000, so many thousands, so many millions. That's what we're looking at. By standard measure is 159 liters. So that is this measure that we work with, and this is very great value. To achieve this, of course, to date, we have a number of things that have happened. For example, in Tilenga, the progress is at about 57%. It's a lot of work, but this is very good progress. And of course, when you look at the driver to achieve first oil, the number of wells so far drilled is well over the threshold that is required for first oil. Yeah, and the same is with the Tilenga, another Kingfisher, where we've got a progress of 72% achieved to date. Of course, in Tilenga, the expectation is to develop about over 400 wells, but you don't need all those wells for first oil to start. So over 100, well over 140 or thereabout have been so far developed, and that is very well in good target. And then the feeder line, which is about 97 kilometers, is already progressing very well. I think much of it is buried in the ground, all connected and everything. And then the feeder line from Kingfisher to Kavale in Hoima, that was completed. It's about 44 47 kilometers, not more than that. And the ECOP, which is 1,443 kilometers long pipeline from Hoima through 10 districts up to Chotela, then goes to Tanzania. The progress is really good. It's about 70% overall. Great progress is happening. You know, the way it's being developed is from Tanzania side and then from Uganda side. So everything is happening concurrently, and we've got that progress. All this is done to ensure that we achieve the milestone of getting first oil. And of course, one key thing I would like to share here is without an option, you cannot go ahead to develop the resources in the upstream. Kingfisher and Tilenga is ECOP. At least the route to market. And then the other option also, which Uganda took on, is the refinery. So having an option also where to deliver stabilized crude, because by the time crude leaves the fields, that's after getting from the ground, it goes through the CPF, cleaned up, stabilized, and then made ready for the market or refining. So that crude will be ready, and then it will come to the refinery, and then the other will go through the pipeline. Now, all these developments are kind of self-reinforcing. You cannot go ahead to develop also ECOP and refinery without the developments in the upstream, and vice versa. So that's the development philosophy that is being undertaken, and it's been so helpful. Now, maybe before I forget, I know you talked about that there's a lot of information doing the rounds.
A lot.
Even before we get first oil, I think a lot of value has been delivered. With great value, you know, like millions of dollars worth of projects signed with different contractors, suppliers, and so forth. So, you know, beneath the bigger players, got Sinok, Total, there are so many contractors. You've got tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 contractors who have been able to sign specific deals that have enabled them to deliver services, but also to provide value to the economy and the citizens. And you also have delivery of value through development initiatives, contributing to local development needs, but also livelihood restoration and the improvement. You've got compensation money. There are things that probably would require a specific discussion as a real topic on its own that we would be able to take forward, but I would like to confirm that there's been a lot of delivery. You've got the about 700 kilometers of tarmac roads in the entire Bunyoro and the other areas in the vicinity. You've got bridges that have been built. You've got a lot of value, and you've rightly put it that it's a correct rumor, I would call it, that yet a lot of benefits are already going out to people. I think what is very important, like how the Petroleum Authority also works on the national content aspects to enhance the sectoral linkages between this sector and other sectors of the economy. Like already we are here at UBC, it's one of those key things I would say. The value that is delivered also goes to service providers like people in the media like UBC and others, but also a connection to sectors like tourism, health, education, agriculture, to mention but a few, and even the infrastructure. So that there's delivery of lasting value, not only to look at the oil and gas as the end point, but it has to be a spur for growth in other sectors of the economy and also contribute to sustainable outcomes in the economy overall. So I think that's what I can say for now.
Well, we are looking at an update of where our oil journey is as a country, having discovered that we can go for commercial oil exploration in 2002. So much has been done, and of course you've heard my guest this morning. Now I'm more interested in the activities happening in Tilenga and Kingfisher, because this is where we have Total Energies, I think that is in Tilenga, and then Sinok in Kingfisher. These are private companies, they're partners in this, they have investments in there. How far, you know, what developments are taking place there?
Like I gave a snippet.
I want an in-depth, you just on top, you know, this, that.
I think, okay, to date, like I mentioned, Yeah, we've got in Tilenga, to begin with, it is the largest kind of segment of the development. We've got 6 fields being concentrated on. So when we talk of a field, it's a larger area, it's beyond just the wells. So there are 6 fields where the concentration is. And you've got, the plan is to have, I think what has been established that is 31 well pads. So a well pad is just a working space of say about 300 by 300 meters, where you can establish 15 or plus wells, the production and water injection and observatory wells. So that's now the detail. So, and like I've told you, on the 31 well pads, we have a target of course, 10 of them are in the park. They will be refilled, and then the other 20, the other 21 are in the south. That is in the community area in Bulisa. Now, what is happening right now is establishing production wells and other attendant facilities on those well pads.
Now,
and
what, for clarity, you know, this is a bit of science, I must say.
Yes.
But you talk about the pads, these wells, then again wells, you know, explain properly. Are there, would we say, there are already wells that are dug, ready, and then you say support?
Of course, I've just, and you also cut me short.
Okay, please, yes.
The attendant facilities, you know, it's a lot of things before you really say now you're set. You see, when you establish, for example, the production wells, they don't stand alone.
Oh.
You just have to ensure that they are also, first of all, on the well, the same well pad, you establish even water injection wells. The ones that you use, they call them injector wells, the ones you use to re-inject water into the reservoir system. And that's another bit that we cannot go into the details here, to enhance the recovery of value from these reservoirs. And then you've got observatory wells that you can utilize to observe the reservoir dynamics as you do production, and then that gives you information to be able to enhance the techniques that you are applying and the technology that you are applying. All these activities are done in a way that is going to help you achieve recovery of value from the reservoir system. Now, other things being done are the building of flow lines. Flow lines are pipeline systems in the field that connect different wells to bring the produced fluids, or hydrocarbons they call it, but those fluids are real crude, as it were, and they will connect to the central processing facility, which is under construction. That's also happening. The central processing facility is a very important facility that receives all the fluids, and then it's the first line of refining, I would call it, or cleanup. So when you receive the crude from the underground, it has got some water, some sand, and associated gas. Now you separate those other things you would call impurities. The associated gas will be accumulated, and then it can be processed into LPG. But the water and sand are separated, and then you have stabilized crude, which is really clean, ready for the market or refining. Now, all that is happening. And then there is construction of the feeder line. Okay, the feeder line connects from the central processing facility to the crude holding area in Kavale, in Hoima, which is about 97 kilometers. All this is also happening. And that's the aspect I was telling now. Besides that, there is even construction of roads that would connecting, and even other facilities that will be attached to the production sites. And like I told you, the plan is to have over 400 wells, okay, for that purpose in the Tilenga area. But you don't need all of them to have fast oil. Already the threshold for the wells required for fast oil has been passed. I think that one shouldn't miss, over 100 wells. have been established and ready, okay? And it's just the other attendant facilities that are now ongoing to connect everything. And this is being done kind of, I would say, concurrently to ensure that everything keeps connecting in that regard. Now, the progress I gave you in Tilenga, as we speak today, is at about 57%. It's a large operation, and that's it. Now, the same kind of establishment is happening in Kingfisher, having a central processing facility, because the Tilenga one will be churning out about 190,000 barrels of oil per day.
190,000
barrels of oil per day.
Quite a lot.
And then
you said a barrel has 159
liters.
159 liters.
Yeah,
that is a barrel.
It's just a drum. You can call it a drum of 159 liters. So for the Kingfisher, same establishment in terms of setting up a CPF, flow lines, but on only 4 well pads. And the target is to establish 31 wells on 4 well pads. And to date, the threshold for first oil has already been passed. Okay, adequate wells have been drilled, and a lot of work, the flow lines and the CPF and the feeder line was completed. It's about 47 kilometers or less, and the progress is at 72%. And that's the deep diving into the establishment. Maybe one thing I would like to add is in both areas, there's going to be there's actually a plan to establish gas processing plants to enable the collection and processing of the gas that will be produced with the crude, and then that will be put onto market to enhance use of gas and as one of the strategies for promoting clean energy going forward. So that will be very good for the cooking, for example, but also part of it will be utilized for generation of power to run the facilities. So that's what I can say, because it's a lot of things happening, and yeah, the progress is...
Well, we must say there is progress. At least there is quite some progress there. Allow me go for a very short break. We'll return.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Two nations, one destination. The Consulate General of Uganda in Mombasa presents the 4th Uganda-Kenya Coast Tourism Conference and Exhibition, a celebration of the intermarriage of tourism between Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, and Kenya, the Pride of Africa. Discover Uganda's adventure, from gorilla trekking and whitewater rafting to Kenya's rich wildlife and world-famous beaches. Delegates from Uganda will enjoy an exclusive fam trip to Kenyan coast from the 22nd to the 26th of October. Even tee off at the golf tournament at Vipingo Ridge on the 25th October, followed by the conference on the 27th to the 28th of October at Ocean Beach Resort and Spa in Malindi. Register today on our website www.thetourismconference.org. Join us and be part of the future where Uganda meets Kenya and Africa shines brighter.
When you want to relax your body and refresh your mind, welcome to Hotel La Confidential, Aroa's premier destination for luxury and comfort. The only hotel in Aroa City offering a serene atmosphere, breathtaking scenery. Come and discover our exclusive wellness club with packages that include a fully equipped gym, a rejuvenating sauna, steam bath, and a great sky blue swimming pool. For events, our state-of-art conference halls and versatile event spaces are perfect for hosting shows, wedding receptions, birthdays, and more. Come and enjoy our cinema hall and unisex saloon, all designed to meet your entertainment and grooming needs. Bring your family and let your kids splash around in our beautiful kids water park. We are located on Aroa Pakwachi Highway in the heart of Aroa City. Don't wait. Visit us on www.hotelconfidential.com or call us on 0761 688 181.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break, and thank you very much for keeping it with us on UBC TV. I'm still with my guest from the Petroleum Authority of Uganda, the stewards of our oil. And of course, I have just told him that our eyes are very keen on you people to see exactly how finally Ugandans will benefit from our oil. There are many countries that have gotten oil, but some have rushed. Many times people ask me and they say, but Robert, you keep on this oil thing. We are excited, we are waiting, but we are saying slow but sure. There's so much happening to ensure that Uganda's oil is indeed a blessing to all Ugandans. And the good thing, he's been giving me quite some updates here and giving them to you. Also, I wanted to pick some statistic, but I think let me leave it for now. Now, when we look at the East African crude oil pipeline, you briefly talked about it. Recently, I was coming from Mubende along the main road. I saw something that I was told that could be the oil pipeline. I'm not very sure, but I saw something similar to that. I don't know if indeed. Now, for Uganda's case, much as you've said, Tanzania, it's coming from Tanzania and this other side, so that they from Uganda, so that work is being done on all sides.
Yep.
So that at least we just reach a connective point. How far have we moved? We know how long it is, so what have we of the distance been able so far to cover?
Yeah, thank you very much for the follow through and question. To begin with, I would like to mention that, for example, like I highlighted, in Uganda, the pipeline crosses 10 districts. From Hoima, through Chikuve, Kakumiro, Chankwanzi, Mubende, Gomba, Zimbabwe, Lwengo, Rakai, Chotera, I think, about 10 districts. And these districts, there's been a lot that has happened. To begin with, there was a lot of work done to do the land acquisition. And that's very important. And one important thing I would like to mention is all these projects we're talking about happen on land. And it has been a long, detailed, and winding process, given the fact that land in Uganda belongs to the people, according to the constitution. That's rule of the thumb, or that's law of the land. And a lot of back and forth happened, that effect. So, but glad to say, in all these projects, the land acquisition, resettlement, compensation, and other related aspects, all has been settled. And now for ECOP to be specific, it's almost over 95, it's close to 100%. Save for a few cases whereby some people still had some issues and they had options to refer to court process and so forth. But a lot has happened in terms of compensating people, giving them a chance to get new places. Others have got houses rebuilt, modern houses compared to where they were living, providing water, solar power, and other attendant facilities that require a proper home, including land titles for these homes. And then you've got the payment of compensation monies for the disturbances to crops and property. All this has been done, and a lot of effort that has been undertaken. And like I earlier mentioned, the progress, all the pipeline, all the line pipes, we call them. I think if you've been keen, there's been transportation of a number of pipe products, big pipes. They can be compared to what we've previously seen for water, but this time these ones are really uniquely designed. You see, they are only about, are they 6 on a track? 6 or 4? That one I'll cross-check, but not, I think about 6.
They're quite big.
But only that, you see how they are transported. So all the line pipes covering the entire Uganda section have been delivered. Yes, all the line pipes.
Yeah, Muhumuza.
have been delivered.
Muhumuza.
Yes. And
How
you see,
long is the Ugandan side?
now it's over 200 kilometers.
Yes, and we have all those pipes?
Yes, yeah, we have all those pipes.
Okay.
Yeah, and you see, I know what, when I say they have been delivered, I know what makes you a little bit upbeat. When I say delivered, yes, they have been delivered where they're supposed to be to enable the welding and even the connections and, you know, fixing, which is also going on very well.
Yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
sure what I saw were oil pipelines.
Yeah.
Around Mubende, there's some place, when you're on the main road, it's land that the government, I think, bought
Yeah,
to acquired to
Yes.
pass the pipes through.
Yes.
Because you see it's more well cleared.
Yes.
Then the pipes are a bit raised and
Yes.
some have been already installed.
Yeah, and all of them will be buried.
Oh,
No pipe section will be left out. They will all be buried. And that's the kind of delivery I've just been telling you. So to date, I would say when we talk of the 70% progress, it's really global. It talks about the land acquisition, it talks about the resettlement, the compensation, and even the delivery of the line pipes, and then also the installation so far made. And this progress is really, like I told you, so much tied to progress in the upstream. Okay, so it's one of those things that people would say, yeah, the doubting Thomases, I would say. It would be a very crucial thing to appreciate that so far we have had great commitment and delivery, and this has also come with the commitment on the funding. I know there was that issue of funding. All that has also been tied in very well to ensure that we achieve the attainment of completion of the pipeline in good time. So that is what I can really tell you. Yes.
now I'll quickly move to how Ugandans are going to benefit in terms of jobs and skilling. Because, you know, oil, we want it to be indeed a blessing. Now, how many of the people, the last time I went, so many years back, I must say there, I saw it was all covered of foreigners, but I repeat, some years back. And by then I saw some Ugandans planting grass. I saw, you know, an update now that there's so much activity happening in Tilenga, happening in Kingfisher, the oil pipeline, also the welding and all that. Where are we as the children of the land?
I think, I don't know which year that is you're talking about. It must have been so long.
Yeah,
I've been in the oil industry since 2009 myself. I worked with an oil company before. Of course, the early days were a bit difficult. I must confess.
I went there in the early days. I must also
to
confess.
date, and
It's
also
taken long.
with the advent of having a dedicated authority, the PAU, there's been great change. So I can get you specific statistics now through benefit creation and maximization. The industry fosters national participation. Okay, and now, as of late last year, we had directly employed people, Ugandans, over 16,000. About 16,375 to be specific. And then up to, of this 16,000, 13,000, about 13,000 were in 2023, and now with an increase of 25.5 as of 2024. But we're talking about over 16,000. Okay, of individuals employed. And then you've got the individuals of those employed, 90% are Ugandans. Of course, you have some few foreigners given some special skills. Yeah, 90% are Ugandans. And then of this workforce, about 35% coming from the oil areas. That's about 5,134. Now, all these statistics I'm giving you, there is very close monitoring of national content perspectives. There's a whole directorate established. There's a whole national supplier database and the National Oil and Gas Talent Register in place. They are all very active platforms that provide great oversight and even follow up. The monitoring is very close. Okay. Now, you see when you look at the sector, where it has come, there's also participation of Ugandan companies. Ugandan companies. I know you're talking about those days when you visited, when you say you saw very many foreigners. Those rig sites of 2010, 2011, 2012, you would find so many foreigners. Today you need to go back and see. Even there's increased participation of Ugandan young ladies, Ugandan engineers, geologists and reserve engineers and so forth, who are able to participate and even work on these sites, because there is even enhanced technologies. You really do have to appreciate that this comes with benefit of having many young people being involved. So the participation of Ugandan companies in executing contracts in the sector is also remarkable. From 2017, we had about 4,780 out of 5,601 procurement worth of over $2 million. $2 billion rather, not even $1 million. Now, the value of contracts awarded to Ugandan companies with about was about $33 million. You see, that is one of the things that you really need to truly appreciate. And others, even through promotion of joint ventures. Now, these statistics are there. I may not specifically share so much in terms of the statistics, but the value delivered.
So national,
so great.
Local content is being focused on.
So much. It's one of the main things you see when you see these developments going on. I know you hinted on an aspect that some countries have had challenges. I think Uganda has had a great driver to ensure that we gain a good oversight of some of these aspects during development especially. Not wait for that moment, that even before commercial production, you've got delivery of value to the economy and the citizens. And one of the things, like you've hinted, one of the main areas of mandate for the Petroleum Authority is the national content promotion and ensuring participation of Ugandan companies and workforce in
now
the
local
of the
content
sector.
being catered for, like you've just given us the statistics.
Yeah.
My interest now goes to how transparent is our oil revenue going to be managed? Because yes, we can have a few who are benefiting, giving services, this, but as a nation, how transparent are we going to be able to handle these revenues that are going to come in? Huge monies, we expect huge monies from oil.
You're expecting, but I think a lot of value has already been flowing. And of course, like you've said, yeah, more value is coming now. Uganda subscribes to the, they call it the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. You've heard about it? So we've got what we call the UGAIT, Uganda Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. It's based here at the Ministry of Finance and the Finance Planning and Economic Development. And there's a whole secretariat. To date, I think they've been able to produce close to 4 reports. There is a recent one which came up. One of the initiatives is to have that arrangement, and a lot of information is captured and then reported on in terms of transparency. But also the country enacted a law in 2015, the Public Finance Management Act. You've heard about it? It's one of the initiatives to enable transparent and proper management of resources, especially in the petroleum sector. Among others, doesn't only focus on the petroleum sector, but it's one of those important laws. The transparency and accountability is also fostered. There's participation by the Auditor General's Office in all these auditing and following through. The Revenue Authority plays its role in terms of following up to see that the entities in the sector do pay their dues promptly. So I'm giving you a global picture of the initiatives to date. Bank of Uganda is very firm on this with the management of the Petroleum Fund. that is established to enable the management of those resources. All said and done, there is already an infrastructure that has been established to enable a transparent and accountable management of these resources. But one of the main things that also enables collective effort to ensure that we've got appropriate management of the sector in terms of the revenue generated and how this is spent is the transparency initiative, the Uganda Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, which has a multi-sector group, multi-stakeholder group, which brings together government entities, private sector, civil society, media, and all other actors. Together they get in to appreciate the dynamics and even provide guidance. They make follow-up, they make field visits, they are producing reports. You should interest yourself in that, and that gives you some great confidence on the steps so far undertaken, and they will continue getting enhanced to ensure that we've got where we need to be in terms of management of the resources transparently and in an accountable way. Yeah.
Now, Muhumus, most of the concerns you've answered there, but now I want to bring you here to a global major concern. Globally, we are talking about climate change. Globally, we are talking about phasing out fossil fuels. We are talking about, if it were possible, closing and stopping oil refineries. Now, Uganda's case, I remember one time our president said, we've just entered the club. For you who have been here and you've been dancing, you can't go. For us, we're just entering. Now, how are we protecting the environment to ensure that this oil exploration is safe for our environment, for our people, and not a danger to the communities even around as well?
One of the very important aspects that this sector is in for is ensuring sustainability. And this goes beyond just how we understand the environment. It's the environment and social and many other dimensions of sustainability to ensure that we manage whatever we are managing with a great sense of farm, environmental and social stewardship. We've got strong laws that's under the leadership of National Environment Management Authority, working with all the other sector players. We've got very strong institutions to that effect. We also have the international guidelines or guidance frameworks, that's international benchmarks. The IFC performance standards, you've got so many sustainability management frameworks that I may not be able to highlight here. I think the debate on the transition, we need also to contextualize it very well. Looking at the Uganda-centric and Africa-centric approach, we've got a long way to go to achieve, to get to a point whereby we find ourselves where the transition, like you presented it, would be that you close refineries, close operations and the like. Let me help us appreciate one dynamic. There are about over 6,000 products that come from exploitation of hydrocarbons. Hope you are aware. There are issues in homesteads that we use. Even where we are seated here, the phone you're holding, parts of it, the vehicles you drive, before you think about the fuel it consumes, so many parts, the shoes you're wearing, the paint on the building, you've got fertilizer, you've got biomedical items in hospitals and so forth. Now, that transition should be very appreciative of the fact that there's so much kind of ingrained connection in our lifestyles or day-to-day lives. And when you look at how that happens, of course, it will take quite a number of years, I'll tell you. We may not know exactly. And I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but what we are looking at is how do we utilize our resources that we have today to even make a contribution to that achievement of the transition. And it's one of the things we need to be thinking about. And we are not about to say that tomorrow, next year, or the other year, or even if it's 50 years, that we're going to have a closure of oil and gas projects. I can confirm that.
Mm.
It's going to be much more detailed. But also to say something, the sector alone is making great strides, like I mentioned. The promotion of clean energy. Okay? We've got the processing of the gas into LPG to use in homes for cooking. But also there is a very serious investment in solarization. Some of the facilities, especially on the ECOP, are going to be supported with solar energy. Yes.
The heating?
Yes.
Because these are heated pipelines.
Yeah.
It's going to be a heated pipeline.
The requirement for energy is huge. So part of the source of energy is going to be solar.
Okay.
And this is part of the components that are already being worked on. And then you've got huge investment in tree planting to have restoration of depleted forest cover. And it's not the industry that has done it. You see there's heavy dependency on biomass for energy. There is energy poverty in Africa, you know it?
What is that, energy poverty?
Yes, energy poverty. Over 600 million people don't have access to proper energy, you would call it. And that's the reason why we've got so much happening to our forests or trees being chopped. I know you use charcoal at home. I'm not saying you use wood for lighting, but for cooking, you use biomass.
Of course.
And
it supplements
but what
the electricity and LPG.
What the government is doing is really to invest heavily in promotion of these clean sources, and the sector alone is also contributing heavily into this. And we're going to have a mix of strategies, not to just say we just wake up and say we're closing. We're going to have that mix as we foster energy transformation. So I want you to take it on from here, that it's not longer going to be transition but transformation, to ensure that there's an integrated approach, but also utilize our resources now that can help us achieve the cleaner technologies, cleaner sources of energy, and even contribute to sustainability goals of our economy. And that's one of the key things that we have in the sector going forwards. Thank you.
Well, we would look more and more into this sector, but we have come to the end of this show this morning, where we've been looking at the progress in Uganda's oil and gas sector, how far we have reached. Well, let's keep hope alive. So much activity is happening there at Kingfisher and of course Tilenga, plus the oil refinery. Now, Uganda is one of the few, if we talk about countries that are going to be having a refinery in Africa. I think Nigeria, the Dangote, I would say that one is also there, a big move still, but also the ECOP pipeline, where we are doing tremendous efforts, according to what my guest has told me, and what I was also able to look at least and say, yes, work is in progress. I want to wish you the best of your day. See you tomorrow, the good Lord willing. God bless your day.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Two nations, one destination. The Consulate General of Uganda in Mombasa presents the 4th Uganda-Kenya Coast Tourism Conference and Exhibition, a celebration of the intermarriage of tourism between Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, and Kenya, the Pride of Africa. Discover Uganda's adventure, from gorilla trekking and whitewater rafting to Kenya's rich wildlife and world-famous beaches. Delegates from Uganda will enjoy an exclusive fam trip to Kenyan coast from the 22nd to the 26th of October. Even tee off at the golf tournament at Vipingo Ridge on the 25th October, followed by the conference on the 27th to the 28th of October at Ocean Beach Resort and Spa in Malindi. Register today on our website www.thetourismconference.org. Join us and be part of the future where Uganda meets Kenya and Africa shines brighter.
You see, I've been a painter for almost 4 decades, and I have found Global Paints to be very reliable. First, everyone knows we use Global Paint undercoat. Now, for the best results, I continue with Global Paints products. I go for silk vinyl when it comes to the interior. Then Global Matte for the ceiling, and when it comes to weatherproof, I go for Global Weather Coat Emulsion. With that one, the house will never peel. Now, there you have a sparkling, magical looking house. And then the client is very happy. He recommends me to another person who recommends me to another person who recommended me to come and do the advert.
Global Paint, a reliable product. Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. Ginshikang L-carnitine